Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a retro review for you today. I'm bringing you, if you would allow me to, my retrospective of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, released in 1963, starring Tippi Hedren, Rod Taylor, Jessica Tandy, Suzanne Pleshette, and Veronica Cartwright. The Birds was only one of only 3 horror films Hitchcock did. And considering, like his nickname was the Master of Suspense and, the show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, it's kind of surprising. It's just the 3. But nevertheless, they're very much 3 movies worth seeking out. Anyhow, let's get right into it. This film starts in San Francisco, California. And we meet Melanie Daniels, played by Tippi Hedren. And she's a socialite, but a bit of a troublemaker at the same time. I'm having the hardest time catching my breath right now. I'm sorry. I just got home from work. We meet her, and she's in a bird store, apparently picking up birds for her father or her father's company, something like that. And she runs into Mitch Brenner, and he recognizes her, so asks her to help him with the birds, and she leads him on, pretending she does work there, and the two of them, goof around with each other until he reveals he knows, and she pretends to be upset, and he pretends he's upset too, and he leaves. And it's kind of this charming relationship, to tell you the truth. It's a little much more earnest, kind of a bickering, like a playful teasing, opposed to the kind of crap you get in TV shows and movies where they genuinely at each other's throats and bickering and yelling at each other the whole movie, and they still fuck in the end. That's just stupid. Doesn't align with me. Doesn't work. Anyhow, she reads his license plate and tracks down to his apartment and finds his apartment. And she buys these 2 turtle lovebirds that that the guy was looking for in the pet store. So she buys the lovebirds, takes them to his apartment, but he's out of town for the weekend. He's gone to a small little island town called Bodega Bay. And as she gets there, she finds out where he lives, sneaks into his place, and leaves the birds. It's really kind of an adorable character. But it's because then she sitting in a boat on the lake, watching up at the house, waiting for him to go in the house and find the birds, which he does. And then they meet up back on the dock. Now, while pulling up to the dock, a low-flying seagull, whacks Melanie right in the head and cuts her head open, bleeding. This is the first incident of bird violence in the movie. It's over 20 minutes of the movie. And it's really funny, nice the way it just happens and everybody just moves on. Nobody really talks about it or thinks about it too much. I mean, there's a little reference, a little bit of reference, why the bird hit you in the head. But people just, people don't read into it, don't think about it, which is clever. And it's important to point out that this film has a very deliberate, slow pace, slow build to the birds. Almost like setting up, if you don't know what movie you're in for, you totally justify seeing you're watching this romantic comedy. Anyhow, around the same time, she's, lying to him about why she's in town, saying that the school teacher she ran into to get the name of his little sister, saying that that's an old college friend of hers, and she's in town to visit her, and she's going to stay with her. Even though she's never met this girl before today. This girl's name is Annie, and turns out she's a past love interest of Mitch's too. But she blames Mitch's overprotective, eccentric mother for it not working out. And the mother is played by legendary Oscar winner Jessica Tandy. And Tandy's performance in this is just, I'm not going to say she's bad in it, but she is all over the place. I mean, just a over-the-top performance. Really is. Melanie decides to stay in town for the weekend, a few days, and she eventually goes to little Kathy's little sister, Veronica Cartwright, goes to her birthday party, and the birthday party is attacked by birds. I mean, birds attacking the kids left and right. And at this point, the grown-ups are really starting to think that was fucking weird, malicious. And the night before, at Annie's place, a bird flew right into the door of her house, breaking its own neck, like it was trying to break into the house. Ooh. Anyhow, so they're finally starting to wonder, what the fuck is going on with these birds? What the hell is this all about? That night, sparrows, like, and that's the cool thing, it's sparrows and seagulls and pigeons. It's not like, it's not like, Alcatraz or falcons or hawks. It's not big or scary birds, really. It's just the little shitty birds you see all the time. That night, sparrows fly into the chimney, hundreds of them, fuck up their house, cause all kinds of shit. They eventually have to just abandon the house, get the hell outside, let the sparrows fuck up the place. So they do. And they call the cops, but the cops are just like, what the fuck you want me to do about it? It's birds. Hell, dude. So, around this same time, a little earlier in the movie, there's also this talk about there's something wrong with the Brenner's chicken feed. The chickens ain't eating it. Chickens are always goddamn hungry. So she's going, Mama Brenner, I can't remember her name now off the top of it. Jessica Tandy's going to return the bird feed, and when she shows up there, she finds a corpse. And he's a total freak out, clearly killed by birds, like his eyes have been pecked out, and there's all kinds of shit destroyed all over his place. So she's totally freaking out about it. I mean, holy fuck, the birds definitely killed somebody. So she's at home, and Mitch is getting supplies to board up the house, or fix up the house. And Melanie's there with the mom, and they have one last heart-to-heart about Mitch and Annie and the truth and what's going on. Oh, and by the way, by this time, Melanie's, she's, come clean to, Mitch and the family, you know, that she is interested in Mitch, and she came down there to see him. So, since the grandmother, Jessica Tandy, is really anxious and worried about the birds, she sends Melanie to get Kathy from school. When Melanie's waiting outside, the birds are just forming behind her on the play set. And when she finally looks up and turns around, there's like hundreds of them. So she goes inside. She tells Annie, we got to sneak the kids out of. Here's the thing: I've always wondered, how the hell is the open street safer than this closed building? But anyhow, the birds attack the kids. Fortunately, none of the kids are killed. Melanie and Kathy and another little girl are behind into a car as they disperse out. They get to a diner, which is the best fucking scene of the movie because it's so Hitchcockian. There's all these different characters. There's a seaman and there's a drunk and the diner, who's the whole time you hear the waitress yelling the goddamn orders, and the diner, the cook is just standing there in the conversation with everybody. You know, a lot like my restaurant, not working. Anyhow, yeah. And there's this old lady who apparently knows everything about birds, and like she trained for this random conversation in a diner with a lady who's on the phone. By the way, all these people are talking. This woman's on the phone trying to make a phone call. People will not stop asking her questions and stop talking to her. I thought that was funny. So, the birds attack again in, like, the most iconic shot of the movie. One of the most iconic shots of Hitchcock's career. Birds coming in over the bay, and they're creeping in slowly. And this is after a bird has whacked a guy at a gas pump. Gas spilling out in the street, goes across the street, guy lights a cigarette, blows up his car. And a really cool effect. I mean, yeah, sure, of course, it's a dummy, but you see the boom of the explosion. And then you see just like this wag dog just like laying up against a car, still standing up and just on fire, burn the shit up like he's already fucking dead. That's really cool way they did that. So they attack the town again, finally disperse again, and they board up and decide to sit the night out in the Brenner house, and it's kind of a shitty ending in a way, because like all three of the women are absolutely useless. The girl's getting sick. The mom's just hysterical, and all of a sudden Melanie is kind of just useless, just standing there terrified the whole scene. While Mitch is fighting off the birds and trying to keep them out. Very James H. compared it to a zombie movie. That's kind of fair. The sequence. In the small hours of the morning, everyone else is asleep. Melanie hears something upstairs. She goes upstairs, she opens the door, and the birds have gotten into the house by literally pecking a fucking hole through the roof. She, stumbles back out of fear and accidentally shuts herself in the door. The birds attack her, they swarm her, they peck her damn near to death. But, Mitch and his mom are able to get in there, pull her out, save her, and, she comes to and everything, but, she's, out of it. She's hysterical the rest of the movie. We don't really know if Melanie, and as far as we know, Melanie's never right again, because we don't see her get better by the end of the movie, because pretty much the next scene is a slow build of Mitch slowly walking outside, birds everywhere, get to the car, listens to the radio, and it's like the shit's spreading. It's happening everywhere. Loads of women up into the car, and the last shot of the movie is him slowly driving off into the distance, into the unknown, into the who knows God what, and birds are just everywhere. The Birds is a classic, no doubt. But I personally think it's a little slow. It's kind of dated. But there's no denying it's a very, very good movie. Special effects that still look good today. I don't like how Melanie, who's the star of the film, not Mitch, Melanie's the main character. She's essentially helpless after the diner sequence of the movie. I don't like, after the birds have killed people, that we have more talking about Mitch and the love story and how mom just has to, it's time to move on with that. Just enough of that at that point of the film. But overall, it's really good. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but my daughter really wanted me to watch this with her, and she, to my knowledge, had never actually sat down and watched a horror movie before, and she loved it. She fucking loved it. She absolutely loved every bit of it. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but she had this great little commentary. Can't believe she said it. When they show the old man, his eyes are pecked out. She just goes, "They ate his eyes," and she wasn't scared or anything. She thought it was cool. Oh God, I'm a bad father. Anyhow, The Birds is a good movie, and I think it's really important to point out its influence, I think, on both Stephen King and M. Night Shyamalan. Stephen King, his kind of character development can definitely be seen in this. Shyamalan's slow, plotting pace can definitely be seen in this. Also, the way that both in Signs and The Happening, he took these cataclysmic global events and showed them in very intimate, tiny communities. It's an interesting movie, even though it is dated. All the music, if you can call it music, is just like bird squawks and shit like that. So yeah, it's an intriguing movie. It's a good movie. If you've never seen it, see it. And also the big plus of Tippi Hedren herself. She's so beautiful and so charismatic and charming. That was a good looking family of women right there. Tippi Hedren is a stunning woman. Her daughter Melanie Griffith is beautiful, gorgeous, and then her daughter Dakota Johnson is just another knockout. Anyway, wow, this has been my longest video yet. Took me a while to get going. Sorry about the beginning. I was kind of hazy and out of it. Anyhow, The Birds, 1963, Alfred Hitchcock's second horror film. It was a very, very good movie, even though I think it's a little overrated. It's not my favorite Hitchcock. It's probably not my top 10 favorite Hitchcocks. I prefer both Psycho, definitely Psycho, and even Frenzy more than this. Anyhow, yes, The Birds is a classic. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.